Hello and welcome to Car Dealer Knowledge. I'm James Baggett, founder of Car Dealer Magazine, and today I'm chatting to Carl Romani, MD of web design firm The Whole Caboodle, and Tony Denton, MD of Bachelor's Motor Group, which has dealerships in Yorkshire for Mitsubishi and Suzuki. Good afternoon, chaps.
Good afternoon, James.
Thank you very much for joining us. So now this is part of our new Car Dealer Knowledge section. We've got some really interesting stuff to chat about with Carl Dars. Tony, you have recently implemented one of these new websites that Carl puts together. There's some very clever stuff behind the scenes when it comes to AI and machine learning. Perhaps we should just turn to you first, and just you could explain on Carl's behalf just exactly what that website does for you.
Okay, so in terms of what is provided for us is in-depth knowledge of the customer's website behaviour up to and beyond the inquiry stage to us. So it gives the sales team some real insight to what the customer's thinking, what the process they might be going through in choosing their next car, to enable the sales team and the sales manager to create a more tailored offer and more bespoke conversation the first time we pick the phone up to the customer.
Now, I know you've put this in place pretty recently due to the COVID-19 situation, and you've had some fantastic success in terms of online sales off the back of it. Perhaps you could just tell me a little bit about that.
So we've been online for some time now. Carl and the Whole Caboodle actually created our last website that was probably 2.5 years ago, something like that. Carl's nodding his head there, I see in the background. The online has always been part of our growth plan. We were very, very early adopters. What this site has added, it's added that next level to make the whole process just smoother and more swish for both the buyer and for the dealership as well. And what it's enabled us to do, it's enabled us to open our doors for business again, car sales business on the 1st of May, which is when we reopened, and to be able to say hand on heart that we have a completely contactless online process to enable our customers to purchase cars from us. And like you said at the beginning, the early signs that the trade is moving online is quite staggering, really. Probably in the last 2.5 years, we haven't done 20 online sales. So to do 20 in the first week, yes, it's the new website. It's got to be a combination as well of the environment as well that we're in currently. But it's the way forward, I would have said.
That's incredibly impressive, Tony. Carl, let me turn to you. Perhaps tell us a little bit about the other businesses you work with, like Tony's, and the solutions that you provide them.
Well, we're an agency that's been established now 26 years. We're based in Harrogate, obviously. And we essentially worked in retailing, automotive retailing being one of the key sectors we're involved in. But we've also been involved in gaming, launching Sky Bets back in the day, and hotels and leisure. So we bring that kind of experience, having worked with big brands like the Co-op, and that kind of stuff. So we understand what affects the buying sort of process in different arenas, and we bring some of that into the motor trade. I would say, however, we are essentially a motor trade centric agency. That's kind of most of our clients, and we've worked with big PLCs, medium-sized, small-sized, family-owned businesses, and we've worked with Tony for a long time. In fact, one of our clients, who's gone into development today, actually, was the very first account we took over 26 years ago, and they're still with us. So we tend to retain clients for a long period of time.
So, Carl, tell us a little bit about what the website platform you produce offers.
Okay, well, assuming, and car dealers should really get this really into their heads, you need to be fully e-commerce enabled. So assuming that you like that, where we obviously are also e-commerce enabled. We use AI, as you've mentioned, and machine learning, along with a unique algorithm that we've written, to develop a system to increase conversions. And we do that in two ways. One, on the front end of the site, we have to deliver content that is of interest to the user. And we find out about that through their journey through their site and what they're looking at and what they're doing. And then we display that information about what the user is doing in a lead center. We can identify the client by name, how many times they visited a particular product or looked at a service. If they looked at a used car once, fine, they're interested. If they've looked at it more than once, they keep coming back to it, we actually give every visit a customer quality score. So we look at it from a point of view of how likely are they to convert, are they near a converting sort of point within the website. And when they keep coming back, we start adding these points together and they get into like a sweet spot. And at that point, we believe they're in market. And the dealer can have a look in the lead center, see all their in-market customers and make an intervention should they wish via an email, a telephone call, whatever GDPR rights they have.
And am I right in thinking that you've taken lessons learned in other industries and applied it to the automotive industry to make this better?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, what all started with this, I mean, for many years we've been tracking, and we're leaders in tracking websites for some of the products that we've got. But there was a situation, there was a company called CT Shirts, and they're incredibly good at email marketing. And when they email market you by name and they'll give you an offer. When you go to the site, you're obviously being tracked by a unique pearl on their email tracking. But they never seem to have the ability to do anything like manipulate the site. So typically, if you can imagine in an online retailing point of view, let's suppose I go back to CT Shirts, just come back organically or through a direct link. It shouldn't be beyond the realms of man to sort of be able to say, welcome back. Are you shopping for yourself today? Because if you are, you can see everything in your own size that we've got in stock. And if not, if you're buying a gift, just carry on. Now, I would love that, and I just press the buttons, and I'd have to put my arms, the cuffs, and the collars, and the kind of colours and styles I'm looking for to get to where I want to get to quickly, so waist size and all that kind of stuff. So we started thinking about that, and we thought, well, surely that can also be made applicable in the automotive industry, and it can be.
So just give me an example of how that works on a car dealer's website then.
Okay, we'll take Tony's as an example. There are two franchises there, Mitsubishi and Suzuki. And Tony will know his customers, and the customers will come onto the site, and he'll know this guy actually has only ever bought a Suzuki Vitara for whatever reason, has never really been interested in Mitsubishi. And he keeps coming back on the site, and after a while, it's quite possible to actually make the site more Suzuki-centric. Put the Suzuki products up in a more important position, maybe change the font of the site, make it all very relevant to that customer so that they feel very comfortable. When they feel comfortable and they can navigate to where they want to get to quickly, they'll tend to convert and convert quickly. And so research in America shows that artificial intelligence is increasing conversions by about 20%. Now, as a number, that's not huge, but as a conversion increase, its seismic, it's massive. So that's kind of what's happening.
And I suppose that's prevalent in a lot of other very big online businesses. I suppose Amazon, as an example, is probably doing that far more successfully than we actually realise.
No, I mean, if you go onto Amazon or Netflix, Google, I mean, Amazon are the daddy of retailing, online retailing. They're finding this is a big boom time for them. They use AI and machine learning. And Netflix, I mean, you log in, if you like, by saying it's you or somebody else, and you've got your type of preferences for shows and movies. So it's taking that kind of, I mean, we also do, there's a brand takeover, if you like, with the site as an option, where the images become Suzuki rather than Suzuki and Mitsubishi, or bland sort of generic things. So you can start changing the site. It's done dynamically. The client doesn't even know it's happening, but it's happening and they feel at ease with it. And it's done in order to make the conversion feel natural.
Tony, I'm going to turn to you. That's incredible technology. Really. Are you noticing the difference on your site? I mean, and have any of your users or your staff said, this is very clever, I like the way this website does this for me?
So I'll tell you what Carl's incredibly good at. Carl's incredibly good at restoring faith back into something. In fact, only this morning we've had a conversation about something that I didn't quite like on the site. But of course, the site is, because I haven't blocked my cookies, the site is presenting me things that it thinks I want to see. but I'm not a client. I'm an MD looking at a site and trying to check it. So it's actually quite difficult to fully understand what the customer's saying, because we don't know at that point what the customer's looking at. Although we do later, obviously as the information develops through the artificial intelligence, through the learning of the website. So for me, it's taking quite a bit to get our head around, but whatever it's doing, it's working. You know, we are converting leads into sales. We had a conversation this morning, the Cal and I. Perhaps some of the leads that we used to get, perhaps Cal might not thank me for saying this, but maybe have diminished slightly. But we can see the quality of the lead is increasing, and it's about, for me, it's like Cal had a really good way of explaining this morning. It's about the customer picking the journey that they want, not the journey that the car dealer tries to push them down. You know, so it isn't correct. Yeah, correct. It isn't a traditional top nav menu. It isn't a traditional banner that a car dealer like myself would be used to looking at, because we thought the banner across the top of the page was the be all and end all and the holy grail to doing our targets in Q3, and actually it's not. It's about the customer and the sort of journey that they want to go on, and providing you've got all the applicable APIs and plugins and everything in the back of the site, it's pretty seamless actually. I would have said, but incredibly difficult to check.
Yes, no, it certainly sounds it. Carl, let me turn to you on that point. Some dealers will find that like they're giving up a little bit of control. I mean, I suppose your point would be that the website knows what the customer wants, let it do its job and serve it to them.
Correct. Yes. I mean, it's funny because this thing about banners, I've come across this a lot, particularly with car dealers. And if you're a multi-franchise dealer and you've actually got 10 franchises, there's the arm wrestle every Monday morning. Which banner goes first? And is it the £99 a month Duke, or we're putting the focus on there? What about service? What about Motability? The huge big files of banners. 0.34% of people click them. Fact. So, and it takes a huge space on your website, slows the website load down, and you wouldn't actually speak to a customer as they walked into your dealership screaming 10 offers at them before saying something as simple as, hello, how are you? How can I help you? So our view of this is let the customer make the journey. We actually ask them what they would like to do. We can intervene on the site. We can help them choose and give them a mixed search results of different brands and different types of cars. Traditionally, we want them to search make, model, and do it in a certain way. And it's a used car, need a new car, or whatever it might be. And we use our own terminology. The customer will find a way. And if they find it simple and if they find it enjoyable, they will convert. And we also, I mean, something that Tony hasn't done yet, because we'll be talking to you about this next week, Tony, we want to start making the personal interventions that the site can do per user. So an example, Tony will spend some money on PPC, getting customers to look at a special offer on an Ignis or something, and it'll cost him, let's say, £1 for the click. The customer may visit the site again another day, the next week, the same day, whatever. We actually then will roadblock the site and show that offer again. But this time it's a free, so remarketing on your own site. And you can do that in an absolutely myriad of different ways, very, very customizable for used cars, special offers, Motability, after sales, whatever. So someone who looks like they're about to knock on the door of servicing plans or something, and they come back again, we can put in an offer to them and just display it on the screen in a nice, unintrusive way, and it'll convert. I mean, I looked at your dashboard, Tony, and I'll show you later. There are some conversions that prove the point.
Tony, on that point, you get a lot of data in the back end of this system, I understand, and something called the lead center that gives you the information. I mean, how have you found that, and how do you use it in your business?
So the data is displayed in a very user-friendly way. It's over probably 2 or 3 different pages, which is pages leading to pages leading to scrolls. So it's very easy to pick your way through it. There is the conventional autoresponder from the site to our business development centre inbox that tells us the lead has arrived. So we're not in a situation where we have to sit within the website all the time looking and monitoring. But it's, I mean, obviously you have to be careful how you use this information, because you can come across a little bit big brotherish.
Yeah.
You know, you need to be mindful that there's a customer at the end of it, and you know, for the fact that we know that they've looked at a blue Suzuki Swift 17 times and a Mitsubishi Mirage 12 times and a Suzuki Ignis 18 times, and they're making an inquiry on something they've only looked at once, that's information for us, and we needn't necessarily ask the customer, but there are ways and means of asking the question to come up with the kind of answer that they want. But at least it makes, you know, it shows us that the indecision is there, perhaps, so that we're able to deal with that. And for me, the biggest eye opener has been the breadth and the width of price margin that customers look at, because you would suspect if, you know, if someone was looking at a car that was £10,000, they might go 8 or 12, but literally we've had 10,000 and then transactions at 30. You know, such a massive search, which is quite incredible. Carl probably knows the customer that I'm speaking about. If you can see it in the back end.
I mean, actually, Tony, what's interesting also about all of that is you can tag that customer, and next time they're back on the site, the sales manager will get an alert saying the person is back on the site. So you can do that, and it's not intrusive, that, you know, and it depends how you contact them. And assuming you can call them, you might simply say, you know, we'd love to buy your car you bought off us 2 years ago. We've got customers waiting. Are you in the market to change? Can I talk to you about one of the cars we've got? Knowing full well roughly what they've looked at, and we'll give you that as a hint in the lead centre, looking at cars between this price and that price, and you start a conversation. So rather than sitting and waiting as a salesperson, you can actually go straight in, get somebody in the market, and convince them that now is the right time to buy, and you're the right people to buy, and you've got the perfect car for them.
That level of detail, knowing how much and how often those customers have been on the site and what they've looked at, must be incredibly powerful for dealers. But it is interesting what Tony says, isn't it, that you can't really reveal that information to the customer.
No, I wouldn't. And I wouldn't advise anybody to say you've been on 18 times, your quality score is such and such. It indicates to me that you are in market. But I mean that's training and common sense, I suppose. But it's nice to know if somebody's been looking, I don't know, let's suppose at a BMW 3 Series, and they come in, and actually they're trying to buy a 5, and you know they've been looking at this 3 Series a lot, and you're sticking the deal's a bit difficult to do. You can then maybe show them around the 3 Series that you know they've been looking, and they might feel a bit more comfortable with that, because the pricing might be better, might be more affordable for them. So it just gives you the information. It's nice to know when a customer walks to the door, potentially what they could be looking at, as well as what they made the appointment for.
Tony, you've clearly got a very good relationship with Carl, and you talk regularly. I mean, what would you say to other people, other dealers out there that are looking for a website and considering Carl's services?
I would say that very much. Well, our company slogan is TLC, not PLC, and we're a small family business, but growing. Carl is a family business, and again, growing, especially within e-commerce. I would have said that with Carl and the Whole Caboodle, you don't get a burger, a box, a toy type of offer. You know, yes, we have to stick to a framework, but they're very happy to work with the dealer to get a look and feel of what you want and how you want it. And very good advice. I mean, like Carl said at the beginning, we've worked together. I think it's probably 11 years.
Yeah, it is.
We've worked together now. This is our second website with them, and very happy with the results. And in fairness, one thing that I would say is our first online website, there wasn't a website provider that was able to provide at that point a full end-to-end online solution. But yet, you know, Carl in Harrogate at the Whole Caboodle was able to do that. So we were chatting about this yesterday. I don't know whether we were the first dealer group to go online.
No,
you were. Yeah. I think
it was 6 months before, you know, other people. You went.
People latched on. Yeah, and there's some other fabulous stuff, some very specific coding that we've done through the website over time. Like, for instance, one thing that I wanted to do is if a customer valued a car on our website, I wanted to be able to show the customer the price of the used car after their part exchange. So Carl and I developed some code together that enables to do that. So anybody valuing a car on our website values a car, they're then presented with a differently priced stock list that shows what the balance to change would be rather than the price of the car. So I think it's thinking about the customer journey, making it as easy as possible for them all the way through. And we have what we have today, really.
It sounds fantastic, Tony. I'm glad. Really glad it's working for you. Carl, just finally, can you just tell us about some of the other people that you're doing business with and the sort of projects that you've got on the go at the moment?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a project for a legal firm in London. They've got 8 offices, London, Milan, and Paris, and stuff like that. And they're looking at a website that has AI and machine learning and can actually bias the service of the office. So if you're looking at conveyancing, probate, commercial law, you get that kind of information. And then also there's a site for a company called Gusto Honey, who sell honey online. And they don't make a lot of money selling a jar of honey at £6.99, for instance. But where they make a lot of money is when they sell it wholesale. And bless them, they're from Australia, so most of the bees got burnt and killed in the recent fires down there, and so was the flowers, but they come bouncing back. But they sell it in the £100,000 sort of like that, if you like, and they export it to Singapore, various other places. And the key for them to use the platform was the ability to tick a particular contact and get a notification when they come back on the website. Because if they're trying to close a deal with a large trade buyer, £100,000 of earnings, it's important to them to know if it's coming back on the site, looking and reading stuff, and gives them a reason to call. And sometimes they can call actually when they're on the site as well. So that's the one aspect that they really liked about what we do. So that's them. There's a property, there's a estate agent that we're doing the work for as well. And obviously for them, it's looking at what properties people are looking to buy. So those are the sort of the areas that we're looking at. We have 8 under development, 6 of which are car sites.
Sounds like you're going to be very busy as we come out of this COVID-19 situation.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's unfortunately that obviously the COVID is an issue, but it's the right product at the right time, I would like to think.
Well, thank you very much for sharing with us today, Carl. Tony, thank you once again for joining us and telling us all about it. I really appreciate your time. Now, if you want to find out more information about what Carl's firm does, you can log on to www.thewholecaboodle.com. I'm sure if you Google them, you'll find them very high at the top of the rankings. Or you can call them on 01423 523 000. Now, for more car dealer knowledge videos like this one, visit cardealermagazine.co.uk, click on the knowledge tab at the top of the page and you'll find them. Thank you very much for watching today, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.